We've got the blockchain backer here. He's saying the one-day time frame breadth indicator just flipped to the on position. Guys, check this out. Here's the altcoin breadth flip signal. And guess what just flipped? The switch has been flipped to bullish, as you guys can see. Back in November, we did see the same thing here. Okay, indicator flipping to bullish, and then we did see those new highs. Same thing happened back in February of 2024 and October of 2023. So we are seeing that now, possibly suggesting that we are in for another impulsive move. And so now that begs the question, could this be the impulsive move? For more information on how I'm treating Miss Bullrun, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. That's where I give my Patreon subscribers more insight and more detail on where I'm going to be trading, price targets, all that great stuff, how much I'm going to be keeping. Because, I mean, the picture could look different today than it will, 2-3 weeks down the road. We just don't know all the factors. And so I'm keeping my thumb on the pulse. Patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. Blockchain backer here continues by saying it doesn't give insight into short-term momentum or if prices will correct sideways for the weeks ahead. But what it does give us is the past 5 years confirm that the bottom is in, including last September. So another good indication, guys, that we are moving up. And XRP even did just recently see a new localized high just a few hours ago. As of the time of this recording, we did see XRP get up to very, very close to $2.44 per coin. So let me just put a price label on there, $2.438. Currently, we are seeing one XRP trading for about $2.39. So it has been climbing very steadily since Wednesday. Today is Saturday, May the 10th. If you guys are watching this video on the day that I'm releasing it, the overall picture for XRP, too, guys, looking very bright. When we zoom out on the daily, you guys can see here the downward trend has now stopped, and we are now forming what is looking like an upward trend. So higher lows and hopefully higher highs are coming in next. That next level that we do have to break up here, my guess is somewhere in and around here, $2.60, $2.63 if we were to take this peak from back in March of 2025. So let's get there. We are getting very, very close. You guys can see fear and greed still in the 70s. That's a good sign. Altcoin season at 36 out of 100. And the market is still steadily increasing, okay? Not by much today, but it is still in the green, $3.28 trillion. Same with the volume. Bitcoin is up by 0.65%. We got Ethereum. That's also up 2.89%. XRP is up by a little bit in the last 24 hours, 0.41. BNB coin is up 2.54. Dogecoin up another 9%, over 9% just in the last 24 hours alone. So some altcoins are going to outperform, of course, the biggest performer, not the biggest performer, but the biggest crypto that we should be paying attention to in the moment is Bitcoin. Wow, that looking very, very positive. Now, guys, just eyeing 109 per coin. That is really now what we have to break up against. Bitcoin's doing quite well, though I'm not too concerned. 103.6, it did reach 104 even just yesterday. So keeping our eyes on that. CryptoCon here commenting, the 4-year cycle is dead, and he puts it in quotes here because he's been hearing that from a lot of people, and I've been doing my research. Again, there are going to be different factors that are going to help propel the 4-year cycle theory, or we get stopped in our tracks. Again, this is what I'm analyzing in depth. I mean, the Patreon is pretty much for those who are trading, for those who want to know price targets, for those who are interested in XRP, Bitcoin, and a handful of other altcoins that I'm trading. Some mainstream ones, some odd ones. Really, though, it's pretty much my trading roadmap that I'm opening up to all my Patreon subscribers. CryptoCon, though, saying, yet every time the Bitcoin cycle continues to push forward. He says, I laid out the path in January of 2023 with the November 28th cycle theory, and everything has fallen perfectly in line. The idea is that the theory in having cycles theory is that 2025, so that is the red year, is the year of the bull market and the cycle top. So let's take a look up here. Again, he's got his November 28th cycle theory. You guys can see we are getting very, very close to the top there when you compare market activity to where we were in the past. So everything here is checking out. He gives some detailed dates here, but I'm not holding my breath. I'm considering a whole bunch of factors before I make that decision. So again, you know where to find me if you guys want to see what my trading moves are going to be. This is breaking too from Amelie here, the Boris Stuttgart CEO. He just said crypto is going mainstream and that the EU has a head start over the United States. Listen to this. Among the traditional European exchange groups, we have the largest crypto business and digital assets business. So what's happening in crypto? Crypto is going mainstream. right? More and more people have digital assets, have cryptocurrencies, right? That's a secular trend. Also, more and more traditional institutional investors embrace crypto. More and more traditional financial institutions, also across Europe, and we are their infrastructure partner. So is the U.S. ahead in terms of regulation when it comes to, compared to Europe? I wouldn't say so. And it's interesting. It's a great question. It's interesting you're asking this question. In fact, Europe is ahead. We had the regulations called MiCA, right? And is now in effect. And it's not a bad regulation. And if you compare that with the regulatory fragmentation in the US, Europe even has a head start. Of course, now we need to make sure with all this dynamic and political support in the US that we do not fall behind again. So some critical points here. The United States is behind, but that could change. The MiCA or MiCA, I like saying MiCA, but I know everybody calls it MiCA, so I guess I'm going to start calling it MiCA. The MiCA regulations are already put in place, or have already been put in place in Europe, and they already have a strong, robust ecosystem over there. Now, to that point, I mean, it certainly doesn't help that we have bickering back and forth at the SEC level, but also in government. Crypto.ar posting this. This is not a settlement. So with regards to the Ripple SEC case, apparently Commissioner Caroline Crenshaw puts out her strong dissent statement. She wants to gut its own enforcement program from the inside out. Oh, so she's doubling down. She's saying, no, I disagree. Here's what she wrote. Okay, this was just posted a couple of days ago in December of 2020. Under Chair Jay Clayton, the SEC sued Ripple Labs, as we know. We allege that Ripple and its leaders raised capital to finance their business through the sale of XRP, depriving investors of information, so on and so forth. On the parties' cross-motion of summary judgment, the court found that Ripple's institutional sales of XRP constituted unregistered securities. Do we have more here? Is there? Oh yeah, we got the full statement here. Let's just go down and see if we can find something juicy. Now here she says, okay, at bottom, I have full confidence in the arguments our agency made to the Second Circuit on appeal and equal confidence in the talent of SEC attorneys who advanced those arguments. That motivates my dissent today. Our agency is, I fear, worried that the appellate court would issue a sound ruling that agreed with the legal arguments already laid out by the Commission. That would undermine the agency's new apparent mission of dismantling our crypto enforcement program and eroding investor protections. For these reasons, I cannot support our settlements. I urge the courts to take a long, hard look at the Commission's attempt to claw back the meritorious claims it previously made and gut its own enforcement program from the inside out. Boy, strong words there by Caroline Crenshaw. Kind of a joke. I mean, we do know she is part of the Democratic Party. Even Cowboy Crypto here pointing this out. This is all I need to know about Caroline Crenshaw and her hatred towards cryptocurrency. Look who she donated to in 2016? And again, another donation in 2016 to Hillary Clinton. Also, education, Harvard University. I don't know how that ties in. Put it down in the comments if you have some insight on that. She got some nominations there from former President Biden. What else do we have here? Anyway, I think we get the point. It really is unfortunate because, this is a bipartisan issue. Eleanor Turret posting this, okay, just spoke with the banking GOP chair, Senator Tim Scott, who said political repercussions for Democrats who voted against moving towards the Genius Act today on Thursday will be painful. So this doesn't have to do with the Ripple SEC case. This now has to do with the Genius Act. He added that he hopes the inevitable backlash from the crypto industry encourages them to realign and help get the bill passed. Scott voiced frustration with the bill's Democratic co-sponsors, Senators Gillibrand and also Brooks, who ultimately voted no despite Republicans making major concessions, including revisions of anti-money laundering rules, a shortened timeline for stablecoin issuers to become U.S.-based, and enhanced national security safeguards.